Most Elvis fans who are old enough to remember know exactly where they were on August 16th, 1977, the day the world learned the king of rock and roll had died.
A recent discovery at Elvis Presley's iconic home Graceland has unveiled a hidden secret that's left fans stunned. After nearly 50 years, a sealed attic door was opened, revealing a treasure trove of personal items and artifacts belonging to the king of rock and roll. Join us as we uncover the details behind this discovery. The hidden world of Graceland. Graceland, the legendary home of Elvis Presley, rests quietly in Memphis, Tennessee. For decades, it has drawn visitors from across the globe, all eager to step into the life of the king of rock and roll. People come to see the rooms where he lived, laughed, and created his music, hoping to feel even a small part of his world. Since 1982, the mansion has opened its doors for guided tours, offering guests a chance to explore the spaces where Elvis spent most of his days. From the living room to the kitchen, and from the music room to the famous jungle room with its green shag carpet and rich wooden furniture, each area tells a story of his life. Every corner of Graceland holds memories of Elvis's passions and personal life. His love for music, his devotion to his family, and his journey from humble beginnings to worldwide fame can be felt throughout the house. Yet not every part of Graceland has been open to the public. The upper floor has always remained off-limits, hidden behind a block staircase with strict rules prohibiting cameras or other recording devices beyond that point. The restriction is not due to safety concerns or structural issues, but out of deep respect for Elvis himself. The upstairs area holds a very special significance. This is where Elvis spent his final moments, passing away in his private bathroom in 1977. Ever since that day, the family has treated that part of the house as sacred. His bedroom, bathroom, and personal spaces have remained untouched, preserving them as they were when he left them. Furniture, records, clothing, and personal effects remain in place, frozen in time as if he might return at any moment. While the world outside evolved, this private sanctuary stayed the same, holding the memory of Elvis in its quiet stillness. The choice to keep this area private has naturally stirred curiosity among fans. People wonder what might be hidden in those rooms. Some imagine a diary filled with Elvis's thoughts, personal letters never sent, or photographs that reveal more of the man behind the superstar. Speculation has grown over the years, fueled by the idea that this private space might contain treasures that offer deeper insight into Elvis's personality, dreams, and struggles. Elvis was a man of complexity, far beyond his public image. He frequently wrote notes to himself, penned letters to loved ones, or made observations in the margins of books he read. Some of these writings have been discovered and shared, offering glimpses into his inner life. They show a man who, despite fame and fortune, wrestled with loneliness and the pressures of public life. He reflected on faith, the search for inner calm, and the desire to remain genuine while living under intense scrutiny. These personal notes, sometimes sold at auctions, have allowed fans and collectors to better understand the real Elvis, someone seeking purpose and meaning, just like everyone else. Many believe that there are still personal treasures yet to be revealed. A private diary, unreleased songs, or letters kept hidden might exist in the upstairs sanctuary, preserved exactly as Elvis left them. Graceland maintains an archive filled with his belongings, including clothing, jewelry, books, and written notes. While some items are on display for visitors, others remain private, carefully stored away. This sense of mystery adds to the house's unique charm, giving every visitor the feeling that they are walking through more than just a museum. They are stepping into the life and spirit of a legend. For those standing at the bottom of the staircase leading to the private upper floor, the sense of wonder is immediate. Visitors pause, imagining the moments that unfolded above them, the thoughts and dreams that Elvis held close, and the words he may have written but never shared. The restricted area inspires curiosity, yet it also preserves respect and reverence for the man who changed music forever. Perhaps the magic of Graceland is partly due to these unanswered questions, the secrets locked away in a space meant only for Elvis, keeping his memory alive in the hearts of those who visit. However, Elvis's life wasn't so smooth behind the spotlight. The struggles behind the spotlight. When Elvis Presley finalized his divorce from Priscilla on October 9, 1973, his personal life was in turmoil, hidden from the public eye. Though their marriage had ended, Elvis and Priscilla remained connected for the sake of their daughter, Lisa Marie. They worked together to ensure she had a stable environment, keeping a caring and supportive bond despite no longer being husband and wife. While he tried to adapt to this new chapter of life, his health quietly began to decline. By that year, signs of serious physical exhaustion were apparent. His body had endured extensive strain from years of nonstop activity, compounded by heavy reliance on prescription medications. At one point, he overdosed on barbiturates and fell into a coma in his hotel room for several days, prompting an urgent hospital stay soon afterward. His doctor noted that Elvis believed taking prescriptions under medical supervision was safe, yet the toll on his body was severe. These substances affected him deeply, both physically and mentally, leaving him weaker and more fragile than ever before. Despite these warning signs, Elvis refused to slow down. In 1973, he pushed himself to perform 168 shows, the most demanding schedule of his career. Even as his health worsened, he maintained another grueling series of concerts the following year. Those close to him began to notice visible strain. In September of 1974, during a concert in Maryland, his band members immediately sensed something was wrong. Elvis struggled to exit his limousine, falling to his knees while declining assistance. On stage, he leaned heavily on the microphone, barely able to stand, his speech slurred and his appearance fatigued and bloated. Spectators were concerned, questioning whether the tour could continue. Friends and colleagues who knew Elvis well found it difficult to recognize him. The energy and spark that once defined his performances were fading rapidly. Though the music continued, the vitality that had always captivated audiences was disappearing. By July of 1976, challenges arose behind the scenes as well. Vernon Presley, Elvis's father, decided to dismiss 3 longtime bodyguards, Red West, Sonny West, and David Hebler. These men had been close to Elvis for years, but Vernon claimed the move was meant to save money. Some believed Elvis wanted to avoid confrontation, while others suspected the firings were linked to discussions about his dependence on medication. The decision stirred controversy and highlighted the growing tension surrounding Elvis's life. His time in the recording studio was also affected. In December of 1973, he completed a successful session that provided material for 2 albums. However, in 1974, he recorded nothing new in the studio. Instead, his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, released a live album from a Memphis concert. One song from that recording earned Elvis his final Grammy Award, a testament to his enduring love for gospel music, which had always held a special place in his heart. In 1975, he attempted to return to the studio, but struggled to maintain focus, and the sessions were short-lived. Later in 1976, RCA brought a portable recording studio to Graceland to accommodate him. 2 full sessions were completed at home, but they proved challenging. Elvis found it difficult to concentrate, and the quiet of the studio felt different from the energy he once thrived on. Singing each song required immense effort. His voice still held its brilliance, but the ease and magic that had once come so naturally were now harder to capture. During these years, the public continued to see the superstar, the vibrant performer, but behind the scenes, Elvis wrestled with exhaustion, health issues, and personal struggles. He faced each challenge with determination, yet the weight of his physical and emotional burdens became increasingly apparent. The man who had once lit up every room now moved through life with visible strain, battling forces that could not be overcome by fame or talent alone. But what were the last days of Elvis Presley like? The last days of the king. By the end of 1976, Elvis Presley was no longer the energetic, unstoppable performer the world had known. His health was declining, and the dazzling, high-profile lifestyle he had once led had gradually become quieter and more private. After parting ways with Linda Thompson, Elvis began a relationship with Ginger Alden in November of that year. Only 2 months later, he proposed to her, signaling his search for something meaningful, a sense of comfort, stability, and perhaps a renewed hope for the future. Behind the glamour, however, Elvis faced serious personal struggles. His body, once full of life and movement, was showing signs of the heavy toll taken by years of performing, fatigue, and heavy use of prescription medication. Elvis had gained noticeable weight, and the energy that had always marked his stage presence was fading. On occasion, he struggled to deliver performances, his speech sometimes unclear, and at times he forgot the lyrics to his songs. In Baton Rouge, his condition was so severe that he could not even leave his bed, forcing 4 concerts to be postponed. Despite these setbacks, he pressed on, determined to continue touring, meeting his obligations, and attending public events for his fans, even when his body desperately needed rest. Although some fans grew concerned and others were disappointed by the cancellations, Elvis remained committed to performing. As his physical condition worsened, he gradually retreated into a quieter life at home. He spent long hours in his room reading books on spirituality and religion, reflecting on his life and searching for inner peace. He cherished conversations with his family, enjoying simple joys such as recalling funny memories or watching classic comedy shows together. These quieter moments became his refuge, offering solace away from the spotlight. In June of 1977, Elvis released a new song titled "Way Down," which would ultimately become the last song he released while alive. That same month, CBS filmed 2 of his concerts for a television special. At the first show in Omaha, he appeared unwell, his voice weakened and struggling to hit certain notes. 2 days later, during a concert in South Dakota, he seemed slightly better, having lost some weight and regained a measure of his vocal strength. Nevertheless, by the end of the performance, his face was pale and he was visibly exhausted. His final concert took place on June 26, 1977 in Indianapolis. At the time, no one knew this would mark the end of his live performances. During this period, another personal challenge arose. Earlier in the month, a book written by 3 of Elvis's former bodyguards was published, revealing details of his extensive use of prescription medications. The disclosure caused him deep emotional pain. He tried to prevent the book from being released, even offering money to stop it, but it was too late. The public now glimpsed the hidden struggles behind his fame. These revelations coincided with serious health concerns. Elvis was dealing with high blood pressure, liver complications, an enlarged colon, and glaucoma. Years of relying on prescription substances had worsened his condition, yet he still sought moments of happiness in his way. In early August, shortly before his passing, he rented an entire amusement park for himself and a small group of friends, enjoying a private and joyful day away from the public eye. It was one of the last peaceful experiences he had, a brief moment of happiness amidst growing physical and emotional challenges. On August 16, 1977, he was scheduled to fly to Maine to start another tour. Tragically, that day would change everything. Ginger Alden found him unconscious on the bathroom floor at Graceland. Despite immediate efforts to revive him and the rush to Baptist Memorial Hospital, Elvis was pronounced dead at 3:30 p.m. He was only 42 years old. The world was stunned. Fans gathered outside Graceland, mourning the sudden loss of the king of rock and roll. President Jimmy Carter acknowledged his significant impact on American culture, while the media shared a photo of his open casket, which became an iconic tabloid cover. Ginger Alden recounted the events of that day, though she had not been mentioned in Elvis's will. His funeral was held at Graceland on August 18. Tragically, outside the gates, a car struck a group of fans, killing 2 young women and seriously injuring another. Approximately 80,000 people attended the funeral, accompanying his body as it was transported to Forest Hill Cemetery, where he was laid to rest beside his mother. Even after his passing, Elvis's music continued to thrive. Shortly after his death, Way Down became a hit on both the country and UK singles charts, demonstrating the lasting resonance of his songs. Later that summer, when an attempt was made to steal his body, Elvis and his mother were moved to the meditation garden at Graceland. This serene and beautiful area reflected the peace and dignity that he deserved for eternity, offering a final resting place that seemed perfectly suited to the king's legacy. The hidden story of Elvis's journey to Graceland. After Elvis Presley passed away on August 16, 1977, his family faced the difficult task of deciding where he would rest. Initially, he was laid to rest at Forest Hill Cemetery in Memphis. At the time, this cemetery was chosen as a temporary resting place because it offered immediate security and a controlled environment for the grieving family. It was a place where arrangements could be made without public interference, allowing the Presley family a brief moment of privacy amid the overwhelming waves of grief from fans around the world. The cemetery's staff worked diligently to maintain the dignity of the site, but despite their efforts, the fame of Elvis created unique challenges that were impossible to ignore. Almost immediately, security concerns began to emerge. The world had just lost one of its most iconic figures, and with that loss came unusual risks. Reports surfaced of individuals plotting to steal Elvis's body. The very idea of such an act caused tremendous anxiety for the family. The thought that someone might disrupt his final resting place was heartbreaking and unacceptable. Protecting Elvis's remains became a top priority, and it became clear that a more secure and private location was necessary. The family wanted a place that reflected the deep love they had for him, while ensuring his safety from any further threats. With these concerns in mind, a decision was made to move Elvis to a location that was more personal and secure, Graceland, his beloved home. On October 2, 1977, his body was carefully reburied in the meditation garden behind Graceland. This garden had been designed as a serene and private space where the family could come to remember him. The reburial process was handled with the utmost care and attention to detail. The family and staff worked quietly, making sure that everything was done respectfully. This new resting place offered both a sense of intimacy and security, creating a sanctuary for one of the world's most cherished entertainers. Elvis was not alone in the meditation garden. Over the years, several of his family members were laid to rest alongside him, creating a space that was deeply personal and meaningful. His mother, Gladys Presley, was placed there first, followed by his father, Vernon Presley, and later his grandmother, Minnie Mae Presley. Each grave was positioned thoughtfully, allowing the family to remain close, even in death. The arrangement reflected the close-knit bonds of the Presley family and offered a sense of peace in the midst of public attention. With time, the meditation garden became more than just a family sanctuary. It grew into a place of pilgrimage for fans. Visitors from around the world came to Graceland to pay their respects, leaving flowers, notes, and tokens of admiration. People wanted to feel close to Elvis, to honor the memory of the man whose music had touched so many lives. The gravesite became a symbol not only of his life, but also of the enduring love that surrounded him. It was a place where memories could be shared, where stories of his impact could be told, and where the spirit of Elvis Presley continued to inspire. The journey from Forest Hill Cemetery to Graceland's meditation garden marked more than a simple relocation. It represented the care, love, and protection that his family wanted to provide. It transformed his resting place into a personal and sacred space, ensuring that Elvis would remain safe while allowing the world to continue celebrating his life. The meditation garden today stands as a testament to the Presley family's devotion and the timeless legacy of a man whose presence continues to echo through music, hearts, and history. The enduring mysteries of Elvis Presley. Since the day Elvis Presley passed away, stories and speculations about him have never truly stopped. For many, it was almost impossible to accept that a man so full of energy, charisma, and talent could be gone so suddenly. His absence felt unreal, leaving a void that seemed too large to fill. Because of this disbelief, countless tales began to emerge, shared from person to person, in homes, restaurants, on the radio, and eventually across the internet. People wanted to understand why such a remarkable life ended, and when clear answers were hard to come by, imagination and curiosity gave birth to theories. One of the most enduring ideas is that Elvis somehow staged his death to escape the pressures of fame. In these stories, he left the hospital unnoticed, slipping away from the eyes of the media, fans, and the world. People pictured him settling into a peaceful, ordinary life, perhaps on a quiet beach or in a small town, living anonymously without the constant attention that had defined his earlier years. Over time, many claimed they had seen him in various places, airports, gas stations, or shopping centers. Witnesses described someone who seemed older yet still unmistakably familiar, with a voice that, while softer, still carried traces of recognition. Blurry photographs occasionally surfaced, showing figures that appeared to resemble him. Although none could be definitively confirmed as Elvis, each image fueled excitement and hope among those who refused to accept his passing. Even small details sparked speculation. Visitors to his grave at Graceland noticed that his middle name on the tombstone was spelled differently than his birth certificate. Born Elvis Aaron Presley, the marker read Aaron. For some, this discrepancy became a symbol, a possible hint that the person resting there might not be him, while others believed it was a tribute to his twin brother who had passed away at birth. These observations led to more imaginative theories. Some thought Elvis had connections to powerful individuals and had been hidden away for protection. Others believed he might have entered witness protection, disappearing from public life with government assistance. The tales often sounded like stories from a suspenseful movie, full of secrecy, danger, and intrigue. Yet despite their appeal, there was never any concrete evidence to support these claims. They remained stories passed along, spreading like whispers through communities and online forums. Over the years, these rumors grew into a key part of his legacy. Elvis was remembered not only as an extraordinary singer and performer, but also as a figure wrapped in mystery. Books, television specials, and documentaries explored the possibility that he might still be alive, feeding both curiosity and hope. Fans visiting Graceland were not just paying tribute. They were also imagining a world in which the king of rock and roll might still be present, quietly observing from afar. Despite the excitement these stories generated, most people chose to focus on verified facts. There was no proof to support the various theories, yet the rumors continued to captivate imaginations. Part of their power came from the genuine love people felt for Elvis. His music, energy, and presence had touched countless lives, creating an emotional bond that was difficult to let go of. These stories, though unlikely, reflected the profound admiration and care fans had for him. The longing to believe that he might still be with us in some way showed how deeply his life and art had connected with the hearts of millions. The medical mystery behind Elvis Presley's passing. When Elvis Presley died, medical experts immediately began investigating the cause of his sudden death. An autopsy was started without delay, and even before it was fully completed, Memphis medical examiner Jerry Francisco publicly stated that Elvis had passed away from cardiac arrest, asserting that illegal substances were not involved. Not everyone accepted this explanation right away. As more details emerged and the case was studied more thoroughly, the situation became clearer but also more troubling. While Francisco maintained that a heart problem was to blame, many other experts believed that medications likely played a significant role in his passing. During the autopsy, the team noted that Elvis may have had a strong allergic reaction to codeine, a substance prescribed by his dentist. Though he had a mild sensitivity to codeine, it was suspected that this particular reaction could have been more severe than usual. 2 months after the autopsy, laboratory results arrived, offering a new perspective on the circumstances of his death. The findings showed that Elvis had 14 different substances in his system at the time he passed, with 10 of them present in amounts capable of affecting his health. The link between his condition and the medications in his body could no longer be ignored. In 1979, forensic pathologist Cyril Wecht reviewed the case and concluded that a combination of sedatives and other depressants likely contributed to what was considered an accidental death. Another expert, Michael Baden, also studied the details and emphasized the complexity of the situation. He noted that Elvis had an enlarged heart over time, and coupled with years of substance use, this combination probably led to his passing. Baden highlighted how difficult it was to reach precise conclusions about Elvis's health and the importance of careful evaluation. Questions also arose regarding the behavior of some doctors. Jerry Francisco had announced a cause of death before all laboratory tests were complete, suggesting the diagnosis could only truly be confirmed in a living person. This raised suspicions and led to speculation about a possible cover-up. Another physician, George Nicopolis, had served as Elvis's longtime doctor. In 1981, he went to trial due to concerns over his prescriptions. Although he was not convicted of a crime, the case revealed alarming details. During the first 8 months of 1977 alone, Nicopolis had prescribed more than 10,000 doses of various medications to Elvis, including sedatives, stimulants, and painkillers. The sheer volume of prescriptions sparked major concerns about their impact on Elvis's health. While Nicopolis avoided jail time, he did have his medical license suspended for 3 months. Later, when further charges were brought, his license was permanently revoked. In 1994, a different medical examiner, Joseph Davis, reviewed the autopsy report. Davis concluded that substances were not the primary cause of Elvis's death and believed it resulted from a sudden heart attack. It was also clarified that Jerry Francisco did not represent all the doctors involved in 1977. Some pathologists felt the complete cause could not be determined until all laboratory results were available. Dr. E. Eric Muirhead, one of the examining pathologists, expressed disappointment over Francisco's premature public announcement. The autopsy revealed that Elvis had suffered from several long-term health issues. He had diabetes, glaucoma, and severe constipation, among other chronic conditions. Additionally, the examination uncovered extensive damage caused by prolonged use of strong medications. Hospital records showed that Elvis had sought treatment for substance dependence multiple times and had undergone methadone therapy. These findings painted a picture of a man whose body had endured years of strain, illness, and the impact of necessary yet powerful medications, public reaction, and cultural impact. When the news of Elvis Presley's passing reached the world, an overwhelming wave of sorrow swept across continents. Fans everywhere felt as though a brilliant light had suddenly disappeared. People from far-off places traveled to Memphis to stand outside Graceland, transforming it into a place of remembrance, covered with flowers, personal notes, and heartfelt emotions. The atmosphere was heavy with genuine grief, showing how deeply Elvis had touched the lives of so many. Even after his death, fascination with Elvis only grew. People were drawn not just to his music and iconic dance moves, but to the man behind the fame. This curiosity inspired the creation of numerous books and documentaries exploring various aspects of his life. Some highlighted joyous moments, while others examined the struggles he faced. It became clear that the world wanted to understand how someone so admired and successful could still experience vulnerability. Writers and critics began analyzing Elvis in a new light, going beyond his superstar persona to explore his true identity. They examined how the pressures of fame shaped his life and the challenges he endured. Instead of merely celebrating his achievements, they acknowledged him as a human being, someone influenced by his surroundings, experiencing happiness, sadness, and stress just like anyone else. This approach allowed people to relate to him more deeply, connecting with the emotions he experienced behind the curtain of fame. Not every story was accurate or flattering. Some narratives included speculation or unverified claims, mixing fact with fiction and causing confusion among fans. Despite this, the public's fascination with Elvis continued to grow, reinforcing his role as a cultural icon. His name became synonymous not only with music and movies, but also with ambition, resilience, and the pressures of celebrity life. His influence extended into pop culture, inspiring artists and fans to emulate his passion, style, and dedication. Elvis gradually transformed from a celebrated individual into a lasting legend, inspiring generations to dream boldly and express emotions freely. His music continued to play in homes, on radios, and at gatherings, keeping his presence alive long after his passing. His death marked the end of his life, yet it also signaled the start of a new kind of legacy, one that prompted conversations about fame, mental health, and the private struggles of public figures. His story revealed that even someone adored by millions could face personal battles, making his life story feel more authentic and touching. Elvis Presley's legacy is not confined to his songs or films. It lives in the emotions he stirred, the lessons he left behind, and the inspiration he continues to provide. Around the world, he is remembered as the king of rock and roll, a man who embraced life, loved deeply, and made an indelible mark on society and on the hearts of countless people. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.